So this one's coming straight from the heart. Even the welcome is straight from the heart, because everything that I put my finger into, it's all with a lot of love. And that's how I am going to sort of open the doors to all of you on this very, very special contest. The Space's Chief Style Officer is someone who has a lot of my respect. Over the last 2 years, I've seen some incredible styling talent. It's wonderful, actually, because when I started out, there were very few people who actually got into space styling. And I remember when I started styling first, my mom used to wonder, what are you doing for a living? Like, is this what you're going to do? You're going to make beds for a living? And I couldn't explain to her how much I loved it, you know? So, I mean, that was about 22, 23 years ago. And well, now it's a different story altogether. We have the internet to thank, we have technology to thank, of course, social media. And well, we know what we're dealing with today. The wonderful thing is that there is no end to it. The sky is your limit. So without sort of going on and on about it, welcome. It's a great, great place to be. I've loved working on this project with the Spaces team over the years. I've loved working with all the experts that we've had over the years. And this year is no different. We've got two very special people. We have Apoorva of Lynth Design, somebody whose work I have followed and admired. And again, a great, great professional to give you guys the kind of insights that I feel will work for you, not only for this contest, but also with everything that you all do. I mean, obviously, if you all are a part of this, you all are crazy about spaces. You all are house proud. You all enjoy a good looking corner. So there's nothing that Apoorva will say to you guys today that is not going to help you. And that is something that I'm extremely excited and proud about. Our other expert is Sharmila Patil of the Sincere Storyteller blog. Can we call it the blog? Sharmila's work, again, is something that I have enjoyed, maybe even participated in, because I have to say this, I'm an extremely reclusive social media, well, activist, I mean, if I may say so. I post what is required to be posted for work. I post what I think I need to in order to reach out to my audience. But and there are very few people that I do interact with. And I have to say that Sharmila has been one of them. Her posts talk to you. They sort of pull strings, pull at your heartstrings, I mean. And again, I think it's very, very special to have both these incredible people here today with us. So welcome to the third edition of the Spaces Chief Style Officer Hunt. Apoorva and Sharmila, both of you. Big hug.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right. So
thanks, Rontiaa.
Let's just start with Apoorva on bringing a space together. Apoorva, over to you.
Hi guys, first of all, super excited to be here and part of the show, and wish all of you all the best and rock it and blow Ronitaa's mind away and all of us, I'm sure. So I'm really not one to give big yarns, so I'd rather have questions because I don't usually, I'm not a big talker, but in general, I think I'm more of an architect. So my school of thought always was a little different from what you have been asked to do. I came from a place where my teachers taught me that your architecture should create spaces where no decoration is needed, And literally, that's what I follow in principle, where when I design, I visualize what it will feel like to sit by this window. What would I be looking out at? What would I enjoy just being in that space? And those are the cues that I use when I design. But yes, I also practice as an interior designer in India, and that's not the luxury that I get all the time. So when I go into lots of homes in Bombay, especially, you're just given four walls, sometimes not even with view, and you got to make the best of what you've been given. And in that scenario, I can't say this is not what I'm going to do, right? You have to make the most of what you've been given, and then you start taking clues from the space that you've been given. Is there a window? Where's light coming in from? How tall is the ceiling? Is it short? Is it high? It's very hard to work with a blank canvas, even if I was given a piece of land and said, do something here. It's very difficult. It's always easier when you've been given certain parameters, and that's how I work. So I would say the same to you. Whatever space you have been given, you first need to study it. You need to study it from the perspective of light, from the perspective of height, from the perspective of what is the objective. That's most important. Who's the client, right? And what are they asking of you? And once you have all of that, you need to start, making your little checklist down, and then you start making things look pretty. So you need to first address what the need is. That's my 2 bits of yarn.
How do we make our spaces more ergonomic?
All right. So starting with the pandemic, right? I think the biggest issue rather was space, because now people were all working from home and they needed to figure out how to make this happen successfully. And to that, I would say declutter is your biggest clue and solution to your problems, right? I mean, when you have an office, you have 100 things, and you may not need those 100 things, but then when you start working in a shared environment, or you need to be respectful of the person that is sharing the room with you, just first declutter. So take what is absolutely important to you, bare minimum. Your computer can hold everything that you need. Most people don't need more than that. And I think that's the way to make it work. Secondly, marrying ergonomics with style. See, there is that big question, right? Form and function, and all of those chicken and egg questions that every designer is asked, and their thoughts and views on that. To that, I would say, as ugly as my Aeron Herman Miller chair looks, I don't think I would give it up for anything pretty looking in the world, right? I'm sitting on this chair the whole day and working, and I don't care. I mean, thankfully, it's not my living room, but I don't care how it looks. At the end of the day, I need to be comfortable. And that is what's most important. No matter how pretty a chair looks, if it's not comfortable, you're not going to get anybody to sit on it for more than 5 minutes. Okay. And those are the things that you as a designer cannot forfeit. So again, my biggest mantra in life has been, when I go to design a space, I go to solve for the problem. Okay. And then the innovation comes from there. Be it, for example, a ramp and a staircase, and you have these beautiful designs today that merge the ramp with the staircase, and then you don't need a separate ugly looking handicap access on the side, right? So you're solving for that in a beautiful way, coming up with a design intervention, and that's the way to go. Don't go looking for don't go creating problems in the name of design and then start solving the same problems that you have created, right? So that's the way to go. Just start from the drawing board where you're solving the actual need for the hour, and then your design will just fall into place and you will be marrying form and function automatically versus creating the problem and then solving it. Okay, so that is I think another big tip from me. And is that good enough?
It is. The other thing that I think, we really need to learn from you guys, and by you guys, I mean the architectural fraternity, is basically putting a mood board together. When you guys are working on a home, that layering and coordinating the various aspects and elements
Of a mood. Okay, so that's a great question, and I have a fun answer actually for it. So for one, don't do it the traditional way where you put one foam board down and start cutting clips and sticking it with tape onto that thing. You're a designer, right? No matter what you do, even if it's a mood board that you're putting together, it has to look presentable and it needs to look fabulous, right? So start with Photoshop, right? Start collecting all the images, all the colors, all the references, all of that, and start creating that mood board and make it look like an artwork by itself. Okay, be it even if you have a piece of metal, you can maybe later print it out and collage that metal on top of it if you want it to be three-dimensional. But you can not just put colors, you need to have the artwork that is going into the place. You need to have, so again, I come from a place where like I said, I'm not very bold with colors, and it's very difficult in the beginning of designing and a space to visualize everything, right? So I for my fabrics and for my carpets and all, I tend to, when I'm pre-ordering, tend to order the beiges and the grays, because towards the end, you don't know where it's going, how many colors are going to come. You don't have that information of what art the client is going to buy, right? So when it comes to curtains and when it comes to little things that come into place in the end, my mantra is to go with the grays and the beiges, and you can always add the color later and the pops of color with the with the carpet, sorry, and with the pillows and things like that come in later. But a lot of you might be bold and might be confident about your colors, and so I would say go for it if you are confident. But a good way is to make mock-ups, and like I said, the Photoshop, where you collect all the information that you have and put it together. And while we are speaking of mood, right, what creates a mood if you're presenting to a client, right? There is also the taste bud, and there is also the sense of smell. So I would say, when you're presenting, have some fresh cup of coffee brewing, so you have those aromas in the air. You keep a box of chocolates there, so somebody who's sitting and listening to you who's hungry does not like diss your design because they're on an empty stomach. So these are little things and little tips that you can actually do as a presenter, where you're taking care of all the senses and not just the visual mood. Okay, so I think that's a good solid tip from me.
Okay, so there's one very important aspect that I want to touch upon right now. Basically, most of, or I can safely say almost all of our participants here are not professional designers or architects. They're absolute space enthusiasts, and they come from very varied backgrounds. And of course, if I kind of dip into my experience with the past participants, we possibly could have some people who are into finance and business administration and stuff. So while there were a couple of things that I kind of picked in my head saying that, okay, this will apply, what would you like to tell them now, knowing that these are space enthusiasts and they'll be presenting to the judges, not to actual clients who are physically going to be in front of them? Any visual tricks that you would want them to know about?
So a big tip is to stay original, right? I mean, I know you can take your references from Pinterest or anything that, catches your eye, but and I don't deny that I start from Pinterest as well, okay? But you need to, whatever it is you're designing, right? When you're looking for a reference, you're not looking for to copy. You're looking for something that inspires you, right? So you may look at a pattern and you may not necessarily pick up that pattern exactly the way it has been depicted, but you find an innovative way to apply that pattern, right? And that is not called copying, that is called inspiration, right? And that is totally just. And sometimes you may have thought of something in your head, but when you're browsing through Pinterest, you see that exact same thing done by somebody else already. But that is totally fair, right? You thought of it and it was in your head. And if you wanted to do it like that, but somebody else beat you to it, that's okay, right? So I do say, look, because you have to reference. Nothing in the world can be invented today, and that has not been done already, right? Especially in this design world, right? But how you apply it, how you use it, and I mean, yes, if you come up with something original, then kudos to you, you deserve that crown right away. But a little tip is, you start from the referencing, but once you find your references, find your way to make it original.
That's a very, very relevant point in the age of Pinterest referencing. Guys, I hope you all have all made notes on this. In terms of incorporating, considering the two themes, right? We have Bohemian, which is, we all sort of know how flirty and sort of fluid that can get. And then we have the minimalist look. What would you like to advise them in terms of?
Got it. So yes, so I think for one, you need to play to your strengths, right? So you know what you're good at. So are you good at minimalism? Are you good at bohemian? Are you good at kitsch? So, and once you decide what you are going towards, there is a theme, right? You can't leave it neutral. Then you need to go really bold, right? So again, in any space design, I feel there has to be a hero. Right now, with the retro look, I think the hero is the loud, the colors, so you need to find a way to bring it together. You pick up any picture that's retro, you wear clothes that are retro. I know they're all extremely loud elements, but at the end of the day, they all need to work well together, right? You can't blame a discoordinated space on the name saying, oh, but I was going for retro. So it really needs to come together well. And with retro, it is loud. So you will have to be careful with how you marry polka dots with, stripes and squares and, all of those things. But if you have the talent for it, then it's already a very bold form of design, right? So just be careful how you do it. When it comes to minimalism, right? There's the Japandi style, which is this marriage between Scandinavian architecture and Japanese architecture that is, coming, that appeals to everybody, right? It's simple, it's calm, it's classic. But I would say the little disadvantage you have there is that space could end up not looking very loud. I mean, it won't be loud, right? It's very quiet. So you need to find some you need to put in your personal flavor into that, and because it could end up looking cold, and that's the style, but nobody wants to live in a space that has a cold vibe, right? So despite that being that is probably up my alley, right? My work is very, very, very simple, clean lines, light colors, all of those. But you need to find a way to bring your personality into that and personalize that space. And then bohemian is again, in that same full of character, full of that space. So again, my comments would be similar to um, the retro look.
So essentially and I think that's extremely on point advice, that when you're working on a theme and when you're working with a particular theme, you need to be able to go loud and strong on that theme. It's almost like doing a caricature where you're highlighting the specific elements or features in a face, in a body, so we've got the themes which are bohemian, we've got minimalistic, we've got absolute retro. Retro can be borderline kitsch as well, but there's a lot of fun in it. But if you end up going neutral on what your style is, I don't think you're going to be able to bring out any of those themes. And I think that's what we need to sort of pay attention on, which is amazing. And Apoorva, I think final question to you is a little bit about, because you've already touched on form and function. That was something I was going to ask you on. But what I also want to bring in here is the flooring, and the importance of what is on the floor, because it's the entire picture, right, and all of it sort of gets tied together. So if you can...
Every element that you choose has its own role to play, right? If it is a floor, now whether you go with a marble floor or you go with a terrazzo floor or you go with a wood floor, right? It plays a huge role in the narrative of what you are trying to get at. So that is something that you are going to have to decide before you take it on, right? So it plays a huge important aspect of the overall look, along with the floor, even the fabrics you choose, right? So if you go like I said, for retro, I don't think you have a choice but to go with the the polka dots and the
loud, bright.
Exactly. Yes, there's of course the black and white that again with somehow seems to bring everything together. That's I mean, yes, you're not being original, but because black and white has been there everywhere, but why not? If you can find a way to put it out there to hold your bohemian style together or your retro look together, go for it. Because I mean, it's funny. I'm thinking in my head the black and white would work even in the minimalistic Japan, right? So there you go. It's how you use it.
Okay, that's fab. And this is where I'm actually going to pull in Sharmila as well, because I'm a fan of her styling. So Sharmila, we've covered most of the kind of structural elements which basically gives the frame form for our contestants. If you can jump in with basically tips on how to create the perfect vignette, which is
so when you were explaining
captured.
What the themes were for this year, and I'm thinking to myself, why did I apply this year instead of 2 years ago? This is like totally what. So I am a landscape architect by prior profession. I used to do this about 8 years ago. So I don't have a background in interiors, but I do have a background in designing. So like you see everywhere in my house, I have lots of plants. I honestly feel like plants give you, they just make a space come alive. Like minimalism can be done beautifully with plants. Like you can do whites and browns, which is what our taste is. But without it feeling like Apoorva very rightly said, minimal spaces can feel cold. But I feel like the browns and the greens kind of give a personal touch, which always helps no matter what you're doing, whether it's retro. I have seen a lot of spaces in this year's decor also that had like all these plants that they had spray painted to kind of look a certain way, like blues and reds. But I have this thing with plants. I feel like plants can really bring a space together. And this is not my professional opinion. This is just something that's come from experience, because I am not a professional in the field of architecture or interiors. Whatever looks good to the eye, I look at it from a photographer's point of view. For me, it's always a frame. Doesn't matter what is in the front. We just get used to seeing it a certain way. So for me, I feel minimalism can be done beautifully, but like Apoorva very rightly said, it can look very, very cold if not done right.
I have to second both of you on that. There have been times when we've dealt with certain images that have, been shot, and when you look at them, so when you see them with the naked eye, they look fabulous. But when you actually see them as photographs, something that has been framed, and that I think is very, very important for all the participants here, because as jury, as a member of the jury, I'm not going to be able to see what you're seeing. What I'm going to see and what the two other jurors are going to see is your frame, and I think that is something that all of you need to keep an eye on. Another element, again, that Sharmila, I want you to elaborate on, because I've seen your photographs, is the lighting. When you're lighting up for a photograph and when you're lighting up for a real space, two very different things, because everything that looks, or like a lot of things that look good to the naked eye may not necessarily work through the eye of the lens or the eye of the camera. And
correct.
Help. Button and help.
So I'll come to the lighting bit in a second. Just to elaborate on what you said about what the jurors are going to see. So my two quick tips on that end would be, I don't know if everybody here follows architects or interior photographers, but there's this new thing wherein they add a human element to their photos, whether it's a hand, whether it's just to give proportion. There are those pictures where you see a person quickly crossing, but it catches your eye because it gives you a quick, interesting look at what kind of space it is, what size is the space. So since we are going to be looking at furnishings, like you guys will be designing spaces which will majorly consist of furnishings as the hero, I think adding like a hand putting a cup on the bed, or just a book on the side, or pulling the curtain aside, something like that, it can be interesting. Like POV, point of view, is something that will add a very distinct look to your pictures, which will make you stand out. Like from the top of the stairs, not necessarily in this case, but from behind the plant or the corner of a bed. It doesn't have to be the straight angle. I know you are taught when you see online courses that straight angle, side angle, top angle, bottom angle. But try to find that in-between angle that will set you apart.
So, Sharmila, I'm gonna butt in here and also sort of draw your, they're also going to send us videos, and the two looks that they work on will be video based, right? Correct. So that's a moving frame. It's also a frame, correct, very importantly, correct, but it's a moving frame.
Correct.
So if we can highlight that a little bit for them.
Videography is like a whole different ballgame. So in photography, you can keep one side of your bed ready and have the most beautiful pictures. And I share this a lot of the time, and the other side is complete mess. But in videography, you cannot do that. You can't get away with just managing a little bit. So make sure everything is clean, like right from your walls to your floors. I have seen so many reels also of people wherein, they take a pan and there is kachra on the floor. There'll be fingerprints on the wall. So these are little things that will actually set you apart. Like people do notice all this. I know people think nahi koi nahi dekhega, but people do notice. I do. I notice all this.
Hey, listen, the jury will, the jury will.
Yeah, that's what I notice. When you use sheets, please iron them, steam them, whether it's a comforter, whether it's a cushion cover, whether it's a bed cover, whatever is in the frame needs to be steamed. It needs to be ironed. Make sure there are no creases. There is no excuse for having a crease if you're creating content. Like that's your whole job, right? It's how you represent the product. So saying ki steam se nahi ja raha hai, isli se nahi ja raha hai is not an option. You have to figure out a way to kind of press it and make sure there are no seams. And also what helps me, which I hope, I knew 2 years ago when I did CSO, was having spaces that look lived in. Like instead of having straight ironed creases, like a little throw on the bed, or, cushions which are not exactly geometric. One is like slightly lopsided. Any space that feels lived in, kind of, like you said, it pulls at your heartstrings because you relate to it. Not everything in the room is always geometrically right, like steamed sheets and every pillow is rightly placed. It's not like that. So you can experiment with both, see what works for you. But lived in spaces always catch the eye, no matter what the space is. Now, should I come back to the lighting?
No, wait. Before we'll come back to the lighting. But
Yeah,
here I also want to pull Apoorva in, because I know that after every project is ready, you guys get it shot. And it's not just the age of the still photographs. We also do a lot of videos of the projects that are shot, right? So Apoorva, any tips there that you guys specifically take care of when it comes to portraying the space?
So, I mean, she said it all, yeah. All the tips and tricks of the plant and the light and the coffee mug and the book and all of those things, right?
I do interior photography also, no? So this is like part and parcel.
No. So she's covered most of the points, but I do think that you need to study a space. You have the time, right? So once you set it up, study your space and see when the best quality of light is coming in, right? Because that's really important. Now you may set it up really well, but if you go and take a picture at night when you have to turn on artificial light versus taking it in daylight, it makes such a huge difference to a space, right? And the angle, take it up, take it down, take it right, take it left, experiment, see what that looks like best. Also, you have the advantage if you're framing something, right? Like she said, you see what you want to hide, what you want to highlight, because in every frame there has to be a hero, right? If it's the general ambiance of the space, then that's something else maybe, but there's something you want to focus on, maybe something didn't turn out so well, but it's needed for the whole look and feel. So you need to be clever about these things. And yes, like she said again, that if it's a photograph, yes, you can get away with a lot of things, right? But then again, the video has the advantage that when it's moving, there's music, there's the breeze, there's so many distractions that you can actually get away with the smaller faults. So there you go. You have the pros and cons of both situations.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense as well. Okay, Sharmila, back to you. Lighting.
Yeah, so basically what Apoorva just said, I was going to touch on that. So mostly I think everybody will be shooting at home. Very few people will kind of go out of their way and find another place to shoot at. But even if you do, my first tip would be to find the direction of the place. Like what the room where you're shooting, how it's located, east, west, north, south. Because then you know what time of the day you have to shoot. The sun rises in the east, sets in the west. So if you want the morning light, you know which window will have the morning light. If you want the evening golden hour, 5 to 6 is going to be the west side of the house. You can even rearrange furniture. This is what I had done, because I didn't have enough light when I was shooting for CSO in a certain room. So I had kind of moved the bed in a place which had enough light. Because end of the day, highlighting your product is the most important thing. Like you need to see the bed sheet. You can't say ki room mein light nahi tha, isliye I couldn't. And photography you will get away with if you post in post-production to up the light, but videos you will not. So you will have to find some place in the house which has ample light. Artificial lighting does not work because it flickers in videos, if you've noticed. If you turn on the light, unless you are shooting on a very good camera, which I am assuming most of you won't be, videography will get very tough on your phone. Even the best, like iPhone 13 Pro also gives you the flickering artificial light in the background. So you'll be taking a video and all the ceiling lights will be flickering. And you can see that in post. So you have to find a place that has good light. There are no two ways about it. Like you can rearrange your bed, or when we participated, there were some people who took just the mattress to the garden and all of that. Like you can think out of the box. You can find a place that has good light. You can go to your friend's house if that helps. But there is no other way of inducing light in a room without finding enough inlet sources.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense. Also, I will say one thing as an objective viewpoint. Every time that I have looked at whether it's a video or a photograph that has been shot in natural light, it scores way higher than any kind of artificial light that you will be able to create. I mean, forget spaces, even people look better than natural light, you know? So keep that in mind, because I think that that is very, very essential for all of you to understand as style enthusiasts, space enthusiasts, because I think what Sharmila just said in terms of figure out what time and the direction of your room so that you can figure when to do the shoot. Very important. Okay. Another question, Sharmila, for you is creating depth. You know, we don't want flat looks. So what would you advise in terms of, you know, creating depth and dimension in the setup?
If you know how to use a camera, there's nothing that creates depth better than a good lens. It gives you kind of the focus and the blur, but not everybody will be using a camera. So another thing you can experiment with is color. Color can kind of do what the camera does, like what the portrait mode does for you, puts you in the foreground focus, and the background is blur. Yeah. So the trick with colors is you have to first determine if you have a black background or a white background, because colors react differently in both cases. If it's a black background, then the warmer colors appear closer and the cooler colors appear farther away. And if it's a white background, it's the opposite. Warmer colors appear farther and cooler colors appear closer. So if you have a white, all these things are available online. Like you can just look up color theory, and so all of these are basics of photography. So information is available to everybody. It's free. What you do with the information is kind of what puts you on the map. Like everybody has this information. There are things you have to learn about. Yeah, but really, like this is information that we learned when we started photography, saying, you know, black background, white background. There'll be charts that will help you. Also, every frame, like especially the retro bit, will have lots of color, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to use every color. You take 2 to 3 colors and stick with them, and then you can use tints and shades of the others. Tints and shades, again, you can look it up. You will find tints are when you add white to the color and you get the shading, and shades are when you add the black. So instead of using just yellow, you can use 2 shades of yellow. Instead of mixing another green, another blue, another red, you can stick to 2 colors. Maximum, I would suggest 3, because all the spaces we will be shooting will be small. It's okay if it's a big farmhouse with a big bedroom and then you have lots of colors. But using kind of shades of the same color help a lot with being bright. Like you don't have to be minimal and white and beige, but you can be bright and classy at the same time. You don't have to go loud.
Wow. Sometimes I wish that I was also able to participate. It's a fun sort of very.
Can I apply again this year?
No, you stay quietly. You're good where you are right now. Okay. This is the last question that I'd like to throw to both of you, Apoorva and Sharmila. Smart spaces. Okay. Smart means a lot of different things to all of us. But if you had to, your idea of a smart space, if you had to sort of define it, what would it be?
For me, I've said this again and again. For me, house is a feeling. It's more about how the space feels than how it looks. I have a 6-year-old, so having a smart space for me means a place where he can grow up. I have a dog. So I think you have to be personal when it comes to your space. I'm not speaking from a designer point of view, I'm speaking from a personal point of view. A space that kind of grows with you, evolves with you into something that you would call your forever home is smart for me. It doesn't necessarily have to have all the tech smart things that are available now, all the fancy buttons and all of that. But for me, it's more about, so even initially when we moved in, we didn't have a coffee table. And I had so many questions about how can you not have a coffee table in the living room? And because my 4-year-old played there. I have a dog. And for me, it worked out. So I used 4 corner tables instead of 1 coffee table. But not necessarily that works for everybody. So find and define a space that works for you, which defines you. Just because the trend is minimal, you don't have to not use color. I know everybody is going with minimal, but minimal does feel cool. I have seen so many spaces that I shoot also that, I'm like, can I please add some color? Like, me saying that means your space is really cool, but I say, please, can I add something to the space? So don't get carried away with trends. It's your home and nobody cares, like, what it looks like. Every room can be different. I have a friend who's gone with a different color and theme for every room, but that works for her. So design a space that feels like you.
Nice. Okay, Apoorva?
Can I copy her answer?
No, not at all.
Yes, please do.
No, I have to say, she said it so beautifully. I can't think of anything else that.
Add to it, build on it. I need my participants to be brimming with all these
information.
all these tips.
Okay, so so for one, honest to God, I don't have a coffee table as well. Same reason. I had children, young children. I had a dog, and it's you just need space sometimes for them, and I don't care. Like, I'll put the coffee on the side or hold it in my hand, and I need the space. But having said that, my house here has a lot of spaces that convert. We have a family den that. I mean, if any of you follow me on Instagram, you'll see all my multiple videos. Half of them are from my house, where I have a den where, I can close these doors off and it becomes a den. But if I want to, the doors slide off into a corner and suddenly it's part of my living room when I'm entertaining and I have more space. My kitchen, right? And this was actually designed by me, and it was designed 15 years ago, right? I have these screens that it's same, it's a curtain motor, and it works like how blinds are. We just used a heavier motor where the glass goes up and suddenly my kitchen becomes an open kitchen. And when you're entertaining and you don't want the mess of the kitchen scene, the shutters come down and the kitchen is closed off. Yes, it is very, very techno savvy, but I would still go back to what Sharmila said, and you need to figure out what is important to you and how you want to personalize your space to become your own. So it's only smart if it works for you.
Nice. Okay, guys. I'm throwing it open to all of you. Questions, anything that you want to ask.
I have just one quick thing, if we have time. So I had a list of things that would help them actually click the pictures, which we didn't get to. Can I quickly just go through that? Because I know it will help them.
Yes.
So these are things I wish someone had told me that time. So creating perfect pictures, there are no perfect pictures, but kind of composition is one of the main things you have to keep in mind. I'll quickly just go through the points. So if you are writing this down, you all can just jot down points like rule of thirds, S-curve. These are things that will help you create pictures that draw eyes to the main product. Like if in case of a candle, for example, if candle is your main product, you cannot just have a candle on a white background. That is an e-commerce photo. You need to have a setting for it. But to make a setting in such a way that you know that the ad is about the candle is what is important. So these rules kind of help you style the space in such a way that your eye of the viewer is correctly drawn to the product that is meant to shine. And one very, very important thing is negative space. Every picture, you can just go through my feed, will always have a negative space. Negative space does not mean empty space. It just means that one part, like in this case, this is the negative space. If you can see, I can easily put a logo in this white space, which is very important, especially when you're doing any sort of competition or ad or any of this format where the branding needs to come in. Negative space is very important. So having any like a bit of leftover space in your photo where the brand can add say spaces or CSO or whatever, that will really help in creating content that is valuable as well. And lastly, editing. Please don't forget to edit your pictures or videos or whatever it is. Even if you're shooting on the best equipment, some form of filters or presets are required to kind of pull it all together. Don't give in raw pictures. Yes, that's about it. I hope this helps you guys.
Yeah, even I took notes.
Yay! You can call me later.
Okay, guys, any questions for both our experts? No questions. Nobody wants to ask them anything?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a little bit about the competition also, but also about some general gyan. I just want to know, apart from the fact that, how technology has aided interior design, I want to know how technology is used in a space. It's part of the, format also, I think, for this competition. Like Apoorva did mention about the, rotorized, blinds or curtains. Apart from that, apart from Alexa also, what else could it be?
I can take that. So there is so much, when it comes to home automation today, and one of your key elements today is lighting, right? So you have automation that helps you with dimming, and this is something that I only saw the value of it after I started doing homes that had automation, right? You have a mood, and the mood can change like this. And if you have manual switches, and dimmers, your mood will be lost by the time you set the mood, right? So to be able to press a button and have a mood come on, lighting is one aspect. Then there are showers, right? You have rain shower, you have mist shower, you have you have a rainfall effect, and literally you can get all of these. And then you have lighting that goes with it in the shower. It's all technology, right? What else is there? There is the comfort, like you're going to watch a movie, right? You go into a movie and you literally you go into your den and you press on that automation button, you press movie mode, right? Your curtains will shut, your lights will dim, your TV will come on. It's literally like it's next level when it comes to your AC will come on to the temperature that you want. Your ACs can be programmed to switch off in the middle of the night without you having to get up and manually turn it off. The comforts are just, there's no end to the comforts that you can today do with automation.
I want to actually button here and tell all of you that if you have specific questions for any of these things vis-a-vis the actual contest, which I'm assuming that this may be about, how do you bring tech in, or how you show a smart space? Let's address this with the spaces team in the later half, because I think both our experts are giving you general tips in terms of how to make your spaces work for you. And I think it's fair that we address those specific questions with the spaces team, right? Okay. But automation, I think, would be a big evolutionary step where ambience goes.
I have a question. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Since Apoorva is an architect and I'm an architect, we think like from a very minimal, we're used to making spaces and buildings, and interiors is actually something I've taken up later, which is something we all end up doing. But is there in a concept of like too much intervention from the point of view of the contest? Like, to what level is it acceptable to change a space to make it part of a cozy corner or something? And where is it too much?
So I think you have to go all out. I understand at one level we speak of minimalism and what is required for the space, right? But you need to look at it like what is required of you. You need to make it look retro, then you need to make it look retro, right? You can't say that I'm not feeling retro, it's not needed, right? That's a part of the requirement. And then what you do and how you do to make it look retro is where your eye for minimalism will help you, because it's very difficult. It's very easy to go all out and go retro, right? But your minimal looking eye will help you bring it together.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yes, I have a question. This is Anjali, and I have a question for Sharmila. Sharmila, I love your photography. The thing is, I'll be doing my photography for this contest using my phone. I have always been using my phone, and I've been satisfied till date. Can you share a few tips just for phone photography or phone videography that can, up the thing for this contest? Do you think there are any tips for phone thing?
Hi, Anjali.
Hi.
Yes. Few things that I think really will help. One is invest in a good tripod. I think anybody and everybody who creates content nowadays, mostly everybody has a tripod. So a tripod, whether camera or phone, I think even for phone, a tripod is very important because it gives you the sense of what you are shooting. You can look at the space and at your screen at the same time. Also, one very important, and I think I've said this before in a lot of my live sessions, but using and learning to use the timer, whether it's on your phone or whether it's on your camera, is very, very important. So even the phone has the feature for the 2-second timer. Any phone, I think all the phones have that. Android, iPhone, doesn't matter. As long as you keep your phone on your tripod and you click on the click button, it gives you that 2-second tick tick and then it clicks. It just helps avoid the handshake. There is always a little bit of noise that comes in when you click with your finger even, because these will be images that you will post process. They won't be just images for your Instagram. Instagram needs very low quality images. These will be going to a team of judges and jurors who will actually zoom in and check your work. So it needs to be clear, free of noise. And very, very importantly, don't shoot with filters on. People do that. They shoot in Instagram and they shoot in Snapseed. These kind of apps greatly reduce the quality of your content. And if possible, if for videography, try and get a gimbal. There are ones in the market that are not very expensive, but they just avoid the handshake. Like when you're shooting like this, there is always a little bit of shake because you're breathing and you cannot stop the breathing. So no matter how still your hand is, even after 8-9 years of practice, when I'm shooting on my phone like this, there is always that little shake. So a gimbal just kind of has calibration in such a way, even the phone gimbal, it doesn't need to do all the fancy tricks of 360 and 180 and all the swiveling. It can just be a basic gimbal that has stability in it. So it holds your camera straight despite the shake.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Hi, sorry, I just wanted to ask, follow up to the photography thing as well. Same thing with the video. I wanted to understand if, like, do you want the end video of the entire space, or should we include stuff while we're setting it up, or?
I think again, the question is very specific to the contest. Let's keep it for the chat that we'll have post both our experts leave, because then we'll be able to address all of these for you. Anyone else? Anything else? Can we say bye-bye to our guests? All right. Okay. Thank you so very much, Apoorva and Sharmila, both of you. Thank you. I mean, I know I've learned stuff, but I'm sure all of you as participants have also sort of soaked in a lot of this information that will be relevant for you for this contest as well as for your steps later. So yeah, thank you very, 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 very much.
I hope that was helpful. All the best to you guys. Thanks, Ronitaa. Thanks, Sharmila. Learned a lot from you today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharmila. Thank you, Apurva.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you so
Apoorva.
much,
Thank
Ronitaa,
you,
for giving this
Sharmila.
platform again. And
My
thank you,
pleasure.
Spaces.
Spaces.
Yes, and CSO. And guys, this is going to be amazing. Like if you actually put your heart and soul into this, it's amazing. I've done this, so I speak from experience. And the whole Spaces team, the GoodHomes team, they're excellent to work with. So all the best. Wish you all the luck. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. See y'all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hi.
Somebody has stolen my pen and gone away. Everyone in? Should we start? Rupal, Leena, both of y'all are here with me, right?
Hi,
Yeah, right
Ronita.
and
Yes.
Yes.
Hi.
Right and left hands. Okay, guys, all of you, very quickly, good afternoon now. It's not good morning anymore. Again, welcome to this incredible platform. I wish you all, each and every one of you individually, I wish you all a lot of good luck. Okay. Please know y'all are very lucky. We never had all these opportunities while we were dabbling with space styling. Okay. So very quickly, just to sum up everything that you guys have heard this morning with both Sharmila as well as Apoorva. Please know that they're experts. They're not the jury members. They're not part of the Spaces team. So basically technical things that need to be sort of touched upon, we will do right now. But before I get into the technical aspects of what the contest is about and things that you all need to pay attention to, I want to start with saying a couple of tips from my end, coming from absolute and pure experience. Please have fun. You're supposed to have fun. Don't get stressed. Don't get worked up. Don't get harrowed. Don't get confused. If you are confused, reach out to us. This team is there to work with you on this project. At any given point, at any given step, if there is something that y'all are not clear about, that y'all want clarification on, just reach out, okay? Don't let yourselves get stuck in that space where you need to start speculating, because then that just becomes weird. It's not a great space to be in your head. Yeah, that's my primary aim. Now coming to y'all actually working on whatever y'all are going to work on and the things that y'all are going to do. Y'all have to set up 2 looks for us, right? One is a bedroom look and one is like a cozy corner kind of a look, okay? The idea is, yes, we want great style, and that's very, very important because that's the ultimate, thread that will tie your entire presentations together. But what is important and what you need to keep in mind is that the hero is going to be, or rather needs to be, the products that you all pick out. And that is what needs to come out very, very importantly. So like Sharmila pointed out, I'd like to make that the starting point of my discussion with you, that we're doing this for Spaces. It is the Chief Style Officer for Spaces. It's the Spaces CSO that we're working on, and you are going to be sort of linked with them for the, for the title. And therefore, the products need to be the hero. The concept is important, and that comes next. So how well you've been able to plan the mood board of your concept. What is the thought that's going behind it? Take a little bit of time, which is why I'm saying don't get hassled, because once you get hassled, everything goes for a toss. Okay. Again, in my experience, what I have learned and seen is that it doesn't matter whether you're a professional practicing interiors designer or not. It is about how much of yourself and your own heart you apply to the work that you send us. It's not, we're not judging you based on what your profession is, we're judging you based on what you're sending us. And that is something that you all need to be very, very clear on. So no getting nervous, no feeling like, oh my God, somebody is already practicing or somebody is not, oh, she's already a professional in the field. Don't think of all of those things. What's important is what you do with what you have. Okay, that's important. So these were a couple of things that I wanted to, even before we get into the actual discussion, these are the two things that I wanted to highlight in absolute clarity to all of you. The other thing is, when you're planning your look, okay, I'm just going to reiterate a few things that were said in the morning. Lighting is very, very important. It's very important. So use it to your advantage. If you have natural light around, again, use that to your advantage. Take your setup closer to your windows so that you can make it look that much better. Because if you work with artificial light, you're going to at some point get stuck. Another thing that I have noticed in my experience is that if you're not able to work with the artificial light in a certain manner, your video story or your photograph story goes flat, and you don't want that. You want the space to look as dynamic as what you're seeing with your naked eyes. Okay. So again, for me, that's very, very important. The third and the last thing that I want to talk about where this technical thing is concerned is the frame. Okay. Whether you're doing video, and again, with video, you need to be a lot more careful and a lot more particular, but your frame is extremely important. Even with video, I will say this, that if you're able to frame your space smartly, that's half your battle won. Okay, it's very important. So pick your frames correctly. There will be certain things that will be visible to you from the naked eye, through the naked eye, that may not show in your frame at all. It may look different in your frame. That's why you sort of have, so many professionals talk about perspective. That's important. Which side you're shooting from? Are you against the light? Are you shooting with the light? That also is something that you need to consider. So your light and your frame go hand in hand. Everything else will fall in place. Again, if your concept is true to yourself, it will work. And it is something that no matter what shows up for us, because when we're finally seeing the final input that you guys will be uploading, please know that for us, that's all we have. Okay, we don't have your backgrounds, we don't have your, I had this problem and I had that problem and all of that. We don't have any of that. What we have is what we're saying in front of us on our screens, what you have sent us. That should speak, and that needs to speak. So make it, okay? I'm sure that, the fact that you guys are all here, that itself tells me that there is something that you all bring to the table, and that's pretty special. So even before you make it to, the title, please know that every one of you is very, very special, and that's what you should be sort of tapping into. The other point that Apoorva made, which was about referencing, okay? I would say, yes, it's a great starting point, but figure your own concept out. You don't want to go down that road where once you've seen something as a visual reference, you cannot unsee it. Okay. And you will at some point fall into that trap of, well, I mean, between imitation and inspiration, there's a very, very thin line. You don't want to screw up your chances this time around. Okay. So where regular practical life advice is concerned, yes, it's a great place to start. To get inspired is sort of gives you a starting point, and then you can build on from there. But for this one, please be original. You know, no matter what, be original, because that shows, it comes through. The world is too small a place. You don't want things to come and bite you later. And that's something that I will keep saying at every step. So as far as, you know, your look goes, your styling goes, all of it, it's just the most important to be original. Because once you've seen something, you can't unsee it. And then whether you like it or not, subconsciously you will veer towards it. Okay, so in your head, you'll think, I'm not going to do the same thing. I'm just going to use the base. You can't. It's not, it's humanly, and I have seen enough of my own team members, people, other professionals in the industry, students that I work with. It's happened to the best of us, to me as well. So you don't want to get stuck in that, not for this contest, right? So yeah, I think that sort of goes, I'll end my advice there. I can keep talking, but let's jump into all your queries and questions where the actual contest goes. There is a terms and conditions page on the CSO website, right, Rupal, which you guys need to read, which will give you everything in terms of the rules for the this thing. So you all don't end up kind of constantly wondering and asking the same questions again. Please read that. Everything is extremely, extremely clearly put down there. So that's an important one for you guys. It's the rules and regulations page. I would like to actually tell Rupal to unmute.
Sure.
And take them through the process, because I know that I will fumble somewhere in between.
No, absolutely, Ronitaa, you've been like amazing, and the kind of session you've put together, I'm sure every one of us have enjoyed it, and at the same time, I think it's done a great value add to all of our contestants as well. And so, thank you so much for that. I know you were suffering from, you're not well, so. And I'm so more grateful to you for having this session put together so well and guiding us through. Hi guys, this is Rupal. I'm Deputy Brand Manager with Spaces, and I will kind of take you to all the, nitty-gritty of the contest. And we can, for the starters, we can start with basics, and I can clearly, browse you through various stages you will be going through, what is expected out of you. And I'm sure the insights on the camera, the lighting, the styling has already been spoken about from our, mentors and the judges themselves. So right now, being top 30, you must have received an emailer asking you to reset a password, right? So now when you reset a password, you will be assigned a theme. There are two themes, sustainable plus tech-led. Some of you must have received that theme. And second theme, which is assigned is sustainable, is innovative plus mindful. So if, say, for example, I have received innovative plus mindful, so I have to make a space that is my own creation, my own thought, and my own interpretation of this particular theme. This is open to all, and it's all open to your interpretation of your fabric of happy homes, right? I want you to put in your creativity, your thought process, at the same time conveying that through your video or the design that you put in. That is something what will be the important judging criteria. So just not to have you leave you alone in this with this entire theme, we have created, we have kept 3
styles that you can adopt. Like, the mentors have already explained it to you. So say, for example, if you have a theme sustainable plus template. So what are the things that you're incorporating that are sustainable? Something that, even technology can be, help in becoming sustainable. Like you have automatic lights. Someone goes out of your room and the light automatically shuts down. It helps in power consumption. So this is sustainable at the technology led at the same time. So this is just an example. I don't mean it like an absolute thing. It's just an example to explain what it is all about. Now, while doing this, I can also be very stylish and very niche to what I can do. So you have themes like bohemian beauty, retro kishi. So I think retro kishi spans up to not just a structured look, but it goes beyond that. You can experiment well with the lot of things that you might not do it, usually, and simple minimal, like how, the mentors have already explained it to you. So while you have been assigned these themes, you cannot change the theme that you've been assigned. You will have to create 2 looks. 60 to 90-second video is required of you either styling, you've styled, or how you incorporating is up to you. So the entire decor look will be, first is bedroom look. Bedroom look will entail your entire bed space. Bedroom look will entail your curtains, upholstery, and whatever you want to be the part, whatever element you want to be the part. So I would suggest the bed look should be something that is the main focus, because the bedroom is your hero. Bed is the hero of your bedroom, right? And also at the same time, when you look, when you create that look, you have to make sure that everything comes together and everything looks like one unique setup, which represents you, your life, your personality, or whatever you want to represent. And it should be in line with the theme that is given to you. Here, and the second look I'll talk about is a cozy corner look. So this corner is a very favorite spot. For example, for me, I love sitting near my balcony, and I can watch like rain falling in, and that particular space kind of defines my cozy corner. That kind of defines me, and I can sit there, think, relax. I can have a conversation with my friends. I can talk on phone. So that is a particular place at my home which is very comfortable for me. So I want people to see that in my space. So it can be any room or any corner, any nook by the balcony, or any place you can sit, or maybe say a sofa or a divan or anything like that, which you love. It can be a chair. So what you love and what you want to interpret out of this. So that particular look, not necessary you have to have bed linen from Spaces, but you can have other things from the brand partners. I'll quickly browse through who all are the brand partners. So one is Spaces bed linen. Now please note this down, that Spaces has come up with AW22 autumn winter collection, where you'll have to so we have provided you coupon worth 12,000 rupees. So you can go to the spaces.in website. You can go there. You can go to go to collection. I can quickly show you if that kind of helps you. I think my screen sharing is disabled. Leena, can you please help me with that?
Yes. Shilpa, can you share, allow that? Shilpa? Shilpa, you there?
Hello?
Hello. Yes, Leena, you called.
Shilpa, can you please help me share my screen? I'm not allowed by the rule. Yeah.
Are you able to do Rupal now?
Yes,
Now?
thank you. Yes, thank you. So is my screen visible to you guys? So you have to go to this website. I hope it's visible to everybody. Can you please let me know if it's visible?
Yeah, we can see it.
All right.
Yeah, we can see
Yes,
it.
So
it's
this is the
visible.
website, www.spaces.in. You have to go to this website. Okay. And you can see a lot of things coming up here, right? So I will go to collections, right? And collections has this tab called AW22. This is an autumn winter collection which we have just launched like a few days back. You have to go on this and you can see a lot of designs listed over here, including Rangana and AW collections you will see here. So you need to pick up bed linen or comforter or doha, whatever you want to for your bedroom look. And then you can use the coupon code given to you. It is specific to everybody. So, it can be only used once and the limit is 12,000 rupees. So you can buy something worth that. And you can order the same, place an order, use the coupon code, and the merchandise will reach you within few days. Second thing, our brand partner Drape Story. So Drape Story is a subsidiary company of Spaces. So I'll go to drapestory.com. Okay, this particular concept is we provide a customized home on soft furnishings. So here you can go to drapestory.com. Okay. And you can browse through curtain, blinders, upholstery, wallpapers, cushions, etc. You can browse through the categories and the feature. So you can select anything, use the coupon code worth rupees 7,000 on your given to you specifically. I think this is shared to you on your profile as well as through email. Maybe say I want to buy a curtain. So you can literally customize a curtain and place your order, use the coupon code. Once you use the coupon code, you will receive call from the brand asking to confirm your order and details can be provided later on. Please note that Drape Story will take at least 5-7 days to deliver if the delivery is outside Mumbai. So you need to take the timelines into consideration and then call for it, right? So this is the second place where you can actually order soft furnishing to enhance your look from Drape Story. And the third thing is Wellspent Flooring. So Wellspent Flooring is basically part of Wellspent Group itself, and you do not have to change your flooring. In case you want to update the look or the flooring at your place, what you can do is you can go to wellspentflooring.com. You have to go to click and lock tiles. So there is an AI filter which you can use after creating the look. And you can take a photograph and you can very well change the look. So everything is mentioned in terms and condition page. You will be directly taken to that particular website. So you don't even need to, go and type in the Google. So you see in terms and condition page, so this is like Chief Style Officer website. You scroll down to the end. There is this tab called Terms and Condition. You have to go here and you can see rules of round 1, round 2. So now when you go to round 2, everything, whatever we have discussed right now is mentioned, the requirements, the themes, the styles of decor that you need to incorporate, and the judging criteria. So yes, so everything is listed. So now if you have any questions, you can ask me if you've anything to know from that, and then we'll move on to the judging criteria part. Is there a question or should we move on?
I have a question.
Sure, Niharika.
I got an email which you mentioned, which allows you to reset the password.
Yes.
But in my case, I've sent across on your Instagram also a screenshot where it doesn't allow me to change it due to some error, and it doesn't allow me to create the profile to go ahead.
Right. So
So,
Niharika,
I
you
have like a
just click on
technical
forgot password and you need to reset it. So it will automatically get reset.
Okay, I'll try that.
Yeah. Anything else?
Mm.
Can we move on? Yeah, okay. So moving on, your judging criteria will be aesthetics. Firstly, your decor theme, how much justice you've done to it. And so basically, you know, all the color combination, texture, palette, prints, everything that has been spoken about. Your planning and the interpretation of smart spaces. So how well you were able to do that in both of your looks and how it is reflecting your story is something which will be judged upon. Then obviously presentation and lighting skills, we have had a elaborated discussion on camera, lighting and everything. So this is the third part. Now the judging criteria will be judges, all three, like Ronitaa herself, Malaika Arora and Susan Khan, and Kamya Jani and the Spaces team will judge each of the top 30 contestants on these parameters. Then there will be open voting on our CSO page where the general public will come and vote your own looks. Once the top 30 looks are received, they will be uploaded on our expert corner, and then we will have people to vote your looks, and based on the votes we receive, that will be one of the criteria. 45% of the judging criteria depends on online voting from general public, 40% from the judges panel, and social engagement. Now, when you curate a look, you need to upload them on your social media, and you have to share it with the people you like, and how many likes, share, comments, everything you have will be judging on that as well. And all three of them put together will decide on the chief style officer. So the chief style officer will be, crowned irrespective of two themes. And there are two runner-ups, which will be crowned from theme A and theme B. What I mean here is, some of you have gotten theme A, suppose, that is sustainability plus tech-led. Some of you have got a theme called innovative plus mindful. Now we will decide a judging criteria based on the overall justice to the theme will and everything put together will be our chief style officer, and the two runner-ups. So one runner-up will be the theme winner of, say, theme tech-led plus sustainability, and the second runner-up will be from innovative plus mindful theme. So this is how the scoring will happen. This is how the leaderboard will look like, and this is how top three finalists will be crowned. So the chief style officer, as you all are aware of, the gratification is 2 lakh rupees. You get the flooring makeover 1,50,000 from Wellspent Flooring. You will get to style the GoodHomes magazine cover. You will get the soft furnishing worth 30,000 from Spaces Drape Story. Then two style winners, who are the theme winners, basically, will get cash prize of 1 lakh from Spaces. They will get a feature in GoodHomes magazine, and our top three will get partnership with Spaces as well. So you can just check all the terms and conditions and how to claim your prize and general TNCs, which what we are looking for. So that's about it. So I would like you to also bear in mind the timelines that you have. Probably by 16th of October, we might end up closing entries, but in case the dates have been changed, you'll be surely getting an email and DMs. If there is any problem, you can reach out to us on DMs on your Instagram handles. Our team is working on this, and they'll address all the queries possible. I have noticed that people have been mailing me as well, but please, I would like you to follow the DM process, because our team is specifically assigned there to answer all your questions on social media itself. Because if it comes to me, I also share it with them, and they kind of come forward and answer it to you over social media. So I would request you to refrain you to directly mailing it to me. Everything will be answered in least amount of time, and we'll surely get back to you, and we'll support you throughout the contest. And in case if there is any problem, you can surely let us know, and we will definitely answer it to you then and there itself. And apart from this, whenever you feel so, like how even Ronitaa mentioned, that having fun is the great way that you it will reflect in your design, it will reflect in what you do. So I think that you guys have a lot of fun with what you are doing, and you guys curate something. This is unique to you, this is special to you, and we want to know your story through your design. So all the best to all of you, and over to you, Ronitaa.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so that's the technical aspect sorted. I realized that while, again, we were discussing earlier, there could be questions on how to realize and actually translate the looks into physical spaces. I'm happy to take those questions if anybody has any queries on how, what, where, which. Yes, go for it.
I asked the same question earlier as well, and you mentioned you could take it a little later. So
Yes.
I'm not too worried about the the look of it, but I'm only concerned about the technology part of it. So,
Yes, I realize that's a tricky one. Okay, the way I would do it, whether it is even, I mean, even mindful, how do you translate that into a space, right? But I don't think what we're looking for is an obvious placement of a gadget in the frame. Or it's very difficult, again, like, when Rupal was explaining the automation angle earlier, it's very difficult to show all of those things in a visual setup, okay? But you do have the option of putting your concept together, and there will be a video introduction that you give us, okay? Formulate your concept accordingly. Let us know what these things mean to you. What does the theme stand for you? I think that clarity of thought needs to come through there, okay? The other thing that I would like to say here is that please think out of the box. Go completely out of the box. Think like, or rather think unlike what is expected. If you're thinking that tech has to be shown a certain way, how are you going to show it? Play with that idea, even if it means, you are creating an artwork, or if it means that, I mean, how are you going to translate sustainability in a visual format? But these are thoughts that you should have clear in your head before you start working on your concept, so that when you're describing the concept in your video, you're able to bring all of these out. Also, there are certain videos that have been prepared by the Spaces team, which will elucidate and explain very, very clearly what the themes stand for, whether it's kitsch, whether it's bohemian, whether it's minimalistic. There will be those videos that will be sent out to you, and those are pretty articulate. They literally label various aspects of the look that you can work with, elements as well as accessories. Use that, but please think out of the box, because I mean, we realize that not everyone could have an iPad with them to make sure that it's in the frame, and that's not what we're looking for. We don't want to see a mobile phone in your visual setup. What we want to see is your interpretation of technology. I mean, I could give you ideas, but then I know that I'll be coloring your thoughts. don't worry about the fact that, oh my God, I don't have a boombox to place there, or how do I show Alexa in my cozy corner? I mean, how do I make that look good? Don't worry about all of those things. Those are the very obvious ways to translate the idea into your concept. That's not what we're looking at. So don't do that. Think, go a little, go the distance and get your own interpretation out of them. Yeah, technology could also just mean, I'll keep quiet. No, I will not give you those ideas. But it could mean a lot of things. So just don't get stuck with the expected definition. I know that especially these mindfulness and sustainability, all of these ideas, they're not easy to translate into physical form. It's not, because they're all intangible. They're all here. And at the most, sustainability, you can show a recycle bin, or you can show compost making at home, or you can show jute fiber, but that's not what we're looking for. Play a little bit. Anyone else?
Hi, this is Anjali. I have a very, I mean, it's a technical question. Are we looking for something in landscape, as in the video should be in landscape, or it should be more suitable for mobile viewing? It should be like a portrait thing. I mean, is there a mandate about that?
I think that will be up on the website as your, in terms of your specifications for the shooting. But I would say a landscape is always better.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Rupal, correct me if I'm wrong, huh?
Yes, Ronitaa, you're right. Also, Anjali, I'll just get back to you. And I think this question has been coming up lately, so we need to address it. So
Yes.
a DM can, I can ask my team to DM it to you guys.
Okay, thank you so much. Because I think the terms and conditions don't mention that.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe we can do a set of technical specifications, Rupal, because these will come up once they start working on the videos. These will come up in terms of even clarity. So if you all are using a smartphone, then your camera also will have certain settings that you may need to, work with. So I think if we have like a set of specs that can go out to all of them, make their life easier.
Yes, absolutely, Ronitaa. I think I had spoken to Lena about it as well, and we are planning something soon. So you keep a tab on our Spaces social media. You will have all the questions answered. There are a lot of influencers who will be making the videos, informative videos for you guys. And this is one of the topics that will be covered in one of the videos as well. So please stay tuned.
This is Pooja. Can we choose two different sub themes for cozy corner or bedroom decor, or we should use only one theme?
Switch on your camera. I want to see your face. Pooja. I think you should stick with one theme for both. I don't think you should play with both. Why would you want to put yourself through that? So once your concept of, say for example, the theme that you get is sustainable and tech-led, then once your concept of that theme is clear, you can apply that concept to both your looks. It makes your life easier. Why would you want to play and think of both the concepts?
We can choose any theme out of 3 themes, no?
Yeah, those themes are different. Your main anchor themes will be those 2 that you get when you log in, right? And then, sorry, Rupal,
sorry, Ronitaa, to interrupt. Please go on.
No, so I'm right? I'm correct, right?
No, so every participant is assigned a theme. So whenever they log in, they will get a mystery box, and suppose they get sustainable and tech-led theme. This is the only theme they will be allowed to use. The second theme is just FYI. Some of you have gotten mindful plus innovation. Some of you have got sustainability plus tech-led. So you will have to create all the 2 looks based on these the theme that is already assigned to you. In case a person has done something, say if I'm given sustainability plus tech-led, but I've done mindful plus innovation, that entry will be disqualified. So we have a system.
I think what she's asking is कि चलो sustainability and tech-led to मिल गया, but now to translate that and execute it, can she use bohemian and minimalistic?
Like how you've mentioned, yes, they can, but then having one theme, like say, for example, if you're going for minimal, if both the looks are curated on the same lines, it will be easier for them also. And so also, you know, this is just my point of view. When I extend that particular theme to my cozy corner as well, it kind of reflects in my overall home decor theme as well. So ideally, I would also suggest that if you have same theme for decor styles, I mean to say, then obviously it will make more sense, and also you will get more clarity on what you're doing. So yes.
Pooja, does that answer your question?
We can choose any one out of these those three themes, no?
Yes. Oh yes, it's your interpretation of that theme. It's your style interpretation.
Okay, thank you.
So I had a question. I'm sorry if I dropped off in between. Hi, Ronitaa. Hi, Rupal. So you've been speaking about mood board at the start, and you know, both Apoorva and I mean, everyone was talking about how the mood board should be created. But in terms of the deliverables, what I see is pics and a video. I understand how mood board could figure in the creation process, thus be a part of the video that I take, but that's not a deliverable per se, is it?
No, not according to me.
Okay, all right.
It just helps you get more clear in terms of the way you're thinking.
Yeah, I got that. Thank you so much.
I have a question. Hello, Ronitaa. Hi, Rupal. Yes, it's been lovely interacting with y'all. You know, and I think the previous session, I must put it on record. I mean, all the questions I had, Sharmila and Apoorva both just, you know, I think they just read my mind. So yes, very insightful. Thank you. And, you know, so I had something in mind that last time we spoke to Kamya, that again was very fruitful and, you know, very interesting. So she said something that, you know, that she'd like to see us also probably in that. And do you think it's perfectly fine to feature in it, or it has to be just the look and not us? So I'm just sort of confirming with you now.
You know, according to me,
right?
Don't force it. If it's organically fitting,
yes,
then go for it by all means.
Yes, yes.
You know, but if you're forcing the fit, it will not make sense, and it will show.
Of course. Of course. So I had just this one thing in mind that, you know, for example, if I'm going for the cozy corner, you know, it's a place where I sit to read or meditate or however, and, you know, I have a pet, I have 2 pets, and, you know, they are forever clinging on to me there. So maybe a glimpse, you know, if it happens. I think if it, yes, you know, if it's sort of
will feature in it, whether I like it or not. Because
sorry?
Go for it. Go for it.
Yes, you know, so I'm just saying, I hope it's not a no-no, or, you know, because most of the time, when I'm shooting, they both are around, they both, I don't know, instinctively want to feature into it. So I just thought that, you know, if it happens, and if I feel, yeah, all right. And the other thing was that, you know, when we've got the coupons and how we, you know, we pick up our stuff. So if we're overshooting the budget, is it okay? Can we just pay that extra bit maybe? And then pick up our stuff? Yes, that's a possibility. Sure. Yeah, we could add. All right. And okay, so thank you. I think that's it for now.
We'll be bumping up the sales by all means.
I know. I'm just thinking, I said, what if I like something? And then, yes. So I hope that's an option, you know? Yeah. All right. Thanks. It's been wonderful talking to you both.
Rupali, this one's for you. So are we allowed to pick up stuff only from that AW series, or
typically, yes, bedding look, for bedding look, you can do that because this is a new collection that has come out, and it has wonderful designs that will, you know, enhance your look. So we have so many good collections like Egyptian cotton, organic cotton. We have Rangana collection, which is inspired from, you know, different art forms of India. So you can, if you go ahead with that. So in particular also, these few collections are something which is very much on right from minimal to all kind of designs you'll be able to find, based on your decor style. So it becomes like really necessary. So yes, so for the bedroom look, when you go for the bed look, you will have to use AW collection. While in case if you want to style your with a rug or say any table runner or for anything for cozy corner, you can buy something else. That's absolutely okay. But your coupon codes will only work on AW collection, right? Okay.
That's pretty clear. Anyone else? Y'all have no questions this time?
Hi.
My God, nobody's asking anything. Hi. Sorry.
Hi. Is it okay if I don't turn on my video because I'm not in my best looks today?
That's fine. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, so my question will be like, I live in a space where I don't get a lot of lighting into my bedroom. So is that okay if I work with whatever I have?
Of course it's okay. As long as you make it look good. We just gave you all the tools and the tricks of the trade that work. But by all means, work with what you have, and the idea is to make that look good. So don't get stuck or worried about those things.
See, I want to tell you guys, giving this opportunity.
Oh, our pleasure. And I'm sure the Spaces team is equally thrilled. But listen, I want to tell all of you, okay? I mean, if there is one thing that I have learned in all of these mad years that I've been working in this industry, there are no rules. Everyone will tell you a lot of things and you will hear a lot of things from people. But please know that the only applicable rule is that if it works for you, it will work for your space. And that's important. So when we tell you and when we're going cha about natural light, please know that it's a trick. It's a cheat code that we're giving you that everything looks good in natural light. But if you have no access to it, you've got to be able to work with what you have, and you should.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Hi, Ronitaa. This is Isha. I think you can hear me.
Yes, and we can see you also.
Hi. Ronitaa, I just want to know, as you know, there are two themes, right? So sustainability is, self-explanatory that, you had to repurpose things and has to be a natural element. But the other theme, which is innovative plus mindful. So I got that. So I'm not able to, think what are we supposed to do in that, because I am not able to get anything in decor, or I read about something online also about that. So it's
okay,
like some gel space or some.
Let me translate mindful for you. Okay, I'll just throw a few words at you that should be able to define mindful.
Sure.
The way I would interpret mindful.
Okay.
For me, mindful would be rejuvenating. It would be calm. It would be thoughtful. It would be peaceful. It would be uncluttered. And that automatically sort of translates into a minimalistic sort of not very noisy. Well, I would look at it with pastel colors, like the whole pastel palette. Not too many, even in the pastel palette, not too many shades. Play with that. That's how I would look at mindful and this thing for you. You can also play with the whole idea of nature, according to me.
Yeah.
Think of what the pandemic did to all of us.
Okay.
Think of that. According to me, this would be that. So a lot of feeling, a lot of emotion, love. That's how I would play. That's how I would play mindful.
Yeah, I think that was really enlightening. I have something now in mind as you were talking about it.
Yeah,
so
don't do too much busy. Don't do anything that's jarring or disturbing. according to me, mindful would be that. And in a weird sort of way, with innovative, you can add in pops of absolutely unexpected accessories.
Okay.
Because again, innovation is out of the box.
Okay. So it doesn't have to be a technology, right? That, like the other one, the sustainability thing. So it can be anything, like accessories can be anything, but or it can be a technology as well.
See, that's your interpretation. If you think technology is innovation, part of innovation, then that's your interpretation.
Okay, fine.
And at the same time, innovation can be an interpretation of technology. So again, it's your interpretation.
It's my perspective. Fine.
But explain it clearly when you're giving us your concept.
Okay. Sure. Thank you so much, Ronitaa. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Can I also add a few points? Isha?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Isha, when we talk about, so I'm sure you must have logged in and you must have gotten your theme by now.
Yeah.
Right? So like how we have said that it's, while we having all the things put together and it should convey your thing, I would also, request you all that you let your, decor speak more than, you just talking about it, So for example, I have a decor look, which say how Ronitaa mentioned, like it's peaceful, mindful, very calm, serene. So when we look at the space, so it should reflect, or maybe I'm just thinking out loud, maybe like some music or something can reflect that. At the same time, you can have, maybe a slide or something at the end or at the start, which just talks about your name and what your theme is all about, and a short description that you can talk about. So it will give your design more, I think, space for it to itself to talk.
Speak.
So,
yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rupal. Thank you for that. Thanks, Ronitaa.
Pleasure. No more questions?
Another thing, if I could just ask you both. So when we're talking of this description, as I understand, what you said was that the looks should speak more for themselves rather than us, of course, putting
Yes,
in.
of course. The idea is the style,
That's
right?
Yes, exactly.
It
so
is
we
the
don't
style
have
officer.
Yes, so we don't have to be in the narrative throughout. It just has to be probably a little brief, right? Yes, because one of the videos from last year I'd seen, and the year before that, I think the person spoke throughout, which was also nice. It of course brought the whole look together. But as I understand, if it's a 60 or 90 second, I don't intend doing that. Yes, because I think also it's not very pleasing to the ear in the sense.
As far as you stick to the broader guidelines.
Yes.
What you do with the video.
Yes.
But see, like Rupal said, we would prefer the look to speak for itself, because that's your essentially your style quotient coming forward.
Yes. Right. Okay.
Nobody else. Rupal? We've got rock stars this time.
Yes.
Hanji, Dipali, yes.
Yeah. I just wanted to know a small thing, like when we create a look, we need to complement it with many other things, like, how much we can use those extra things which are not from the brand. Like what is the percentage we should play with?
I think go with your gut, keep it organic. We will let you be the best judge of that, because we want to see what you're capable of. But please know, like we've established right at the beginning of this exchange, that the products need to be the hero. You need to be able to bring out the product. So the idea is all your other accessories should be catalysts to your look.
Okay, got it. Yes. Also, I missed my first half of the session, so I'm just requesting if the link can be shared where we can just.
I'm sure there's a recording. We've recorded the session. I'm sure they can share that with you. Some of the inputs were very, very key to basically helping you guys work through this.
Okay. Thank you so much.